Hello. Today we're going to be talking about perspective and particularly one-point perspective. So some of you may already have done this at some point, maybe where you made railroad tracks that were going back to the horizon line with a vanishing point. If so, that's fantastic. It's going to be a little bit of review. Those of you who are like, say what goes where, that's okay. So we're going to warm up together. So one-point perspective is a great way to show space. I'm drawing with a pen today, and the reason that I'm doing that is because I really want you to be able to see it as I'm drawing. See, already right there I've got a little wiggle and we can't get rid of it. That's okay though. The main thing is that for this exercise you want to just divide your paper roughly in half. And this line is going to be our horizon line. Now, if we were inside, we would also think about this line as our eye level. And on this line, just sort of in the middle, we're going to place a point. And this is going to be our vanishing point. So I'm just going to call it VP for now, vanishing point. So the idea of one-point perspective is that we would use it to express objects that are right in front of us as they, and to show them receding into distance. So just to give you an example, we have those beautiful slides in our simple space slideshow. And if I was to just draw a rectangle as I saw it in front of me, right, we could start with something like that. So that's what we'll do down here. And the more you use your ruler, the neater your drawings will be. You'll notice, oh, our teacher's kind of bratty. She's not always using her ruler, but I'm also doing that because I do not want to take as much of your time as you watch this. Okay, so now I've got a rectangle. It's as though I'm facing it straight on, and I'm going to take the corners of that rectangle and I'm going to connect the corners and take it back to the vanishing point. All right. Ooh, that was quite the noise. So right away, we can see that if I just wanted to show this as like a little object in space, I can draw a line along the back, and this is going to show the way that the object stretches in space. Okay, so if we wanted to have our box, instead of being maybe an opaque box, kind of like I have it now, maybe I'm going to add just a little bit of shading to this side. Now normally I would take away these lines now, and then we'd be able to sort of see this object in space. So let's try this up here, maybe to this side, with just some sort of a cube shape. So what I'm going to do in order to pop it out into space is, again, I'm going to connect those corners to the vanishing point. Draw down, and you'll notice I'm doing a little bit of cheating. I'm not going all the way to the vanishing point now. I'm just bringing those corners down, and then if I was sketching, I would just say to myself with my pencil, I want to draw in the lines of that cube, and I know if this is the underside of the cube, that's probably going to be dark. Maybe the light's coming in from this way, so I do a little bit of shading on this side. And then if you're working with pencil, you get rid of these sections. Goodbye. And all of a sudden, we've got things in space. So in the beautiful slideshow that we were looking at, there's a bath mat. And the bath mat is basically just a rectangle, but it's defined by a vanishing point. So if I wanted to make a nice flat bath mat over here, could create a vanishing point and make sure to connect both sides to the vanishing point. Oop, not quite all the way. And so now that's, I mean, I know it's like super geeky, right? But like on one hand we have a triangle, but on the other hand we can imagine this is like a pathway that we can walk all the way down. So this is the essence of 1 point perspective. But if we just wanted to make like a little bath mat in space, just go through, and all of a sudden we're like, oh, okay. Like now there's a little bit of distortion with the way that we see, but we can start to understand how to show objects in space. So I want you to test this out with a few different things. Like what happens if you use a circle? Let's try something kind of crazy, like a shape at a tilt. A triangle. And let's do one more square over here. So I want you to just pause for a second, and then you can try these things out on your own, and then I will go over them. Okay. So let's start up top, and the thing that we remember is that we are always, always, always going to show and connect that line going to the vanishing point. So this is what we've got so far. That corner sticks out just a little bit, so I'm going to show it going down. Oop, I lost connection with my ruler just a little bit right there. Okay, so now we can see it's like it's getting sucked into a black hole. Now, the reason why I'm not doing this corner is because I'm thinking of this object as being opaque. But if we wanted it to be hollow, I could go like so. And we would then, it depends, like is this side also opaque? Because then if I say to myself, okay, I'm gonna make it so that we're like looking down kind of into that shape. And so what I'm trying to do with these sides as I'm adding them in is to make them parallel with the upper angle. Okay, interesting. So we'd end up with a line probably going somewhere like there. Right now that looks a little weird to me, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is just shade this side of the box. And I'm going to come down here and I'm going to put just a little bit of shading on this side. Something like that. And maybe also a little bit under here. Right, but so we can start to see that shape in space, and then we would come back with our eraser and take out this, this, and this. All right, for our circle, it's a little bit trickier, right? Because we have become accustomed to connecting with the corners. And on a circle, correct me, but I think we don't have any corners. So we're going to go to our exterior most edge and our exterior most edge, really making sure to line up with the vanishing point. Whoop, didn't quite get it. I feel like that's still a little off of that exterior most edge. Does that feel a little better? Still feeling a little, okay. So notice that as I do this, I just sort of keep going until I get what I'm looking for. And so then we've got this rounded edge on the circle. So we're going to come down here and we're going to make a nice rounded edge. And look at that. We have the basis for a tube or like some sort of a cylinder. And then again, you can come and you can do a little kind of rounded shading on the side of it if you want to. We're going to get heavily into shading soon. We're just not quite there yet. And right away you can start to see, oh my gosh, I could have a lot of fun. I could make some sort of a bird's eye perspective with buildings going down if you wanted to. This is like the basis of how we're going to show space. Okay, so I'm coming over to my triangle next. All right, And I'm just lining up that corner, and I'm going back to the vanishing point, taking that other corner, going back to the vanishing point. Right, and that edge, if this is a solid shape, is going to be blocked. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to have my triangle be kind of a small shape. Something like that. So this one is less fun. We're really only seeing kind of like the front side and a little bit of the right-hand side. I feel like it's a little bit more fun when we see the front plane and two of the side planes, right? I mean, here it's arguable how many we're seeing. Okay, so let's see what happens with our square. Okay. So I'm going from that far corner, and we're gonna see a teeny tiny bit of that underside. Connect to that corner. And then I'm gonna go up to the top corner. Oh, cool, okay. So again, I mean, I could decide to make this shape as long as I wanted to, or as short as I want to. Again, just sort of shading aside, and then maybe really doing some dark on the underside there. So something important for us to think about with this, and it might seem like really quite basic, but if something is above the horizon line or our eye level, we see the bottom of it and we can see like the side of it, but we will not see the top of it. Whereas if something is below the horizon level or the eye level, then you will see the top of it. So for instance, if you wanted to draw a beautiful table, then what we would have to do is say to ourselves, okay, this table is going to be below our horizon line, right? And we can start to sketch that in. Okay, so I want you to keep playing with this. I want you to do all sorts of shapes. Some people really like get super into trying this out with block letters.